is a Nahuatl name for smoked and dried jalapeno chili peppers. In the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, and France, there's Chipotle Mexican Grill Incorporated, which is a restaurant. And today, I want to outline for you some of the important aspects of what makes Chipotle one of the best fast food restaurants. I'm going to talk about kind of where Chipotle came from, their vision for starting their company, where they're at now, and where their vision is for the future. So starting with how Chipotle got started. It got started in 1993, and the idea was for it to be a fast food restaurant, but to not have the feel of a fast food restaurant, to get food fast, but not to be like McDonald's or Taco Bell, something like that. They wanted to set themselves aside. Inside their company, the founder and CEO is Steve Ells, and he said that originally he wanted to open Chipotle just to make a couple quick bucks, to open a more formal dining restaurant. But he didn't realize what Chipotle would become, and in 1993 in Colorado was where he first opened his Chipotle, and he didn't realize that it was going to be what it turned out to be. As far as where Chipotle is today, coming from Chipotle's website, they say Chipotle prides itself on serving environment-friendly and natural foods under its Food with Integrity program. They kind of pride themselves on that. They say food with integrity, and then they go on to explain what that means for their company. And they demand suppliers who practice responsible farming and raising animals naturally with a vegetarian diet. This is one of their logos that they kind of have displayed in places, and they talk about how it's not just a burrito, it's a foil-wrapped, handcrafted local farm supporting food culture-changing cylinder of deliciousness. And they have a ton of things like this where it's like they go over and beyond to talk about how great their things are. Okay. So talking about Chipotle priding itself on responsible farm raising, from a PBS article, they were talking about how Chipotle routinely visits and audits where their food comes from to make sure that they're up to Chipotle standards. And they actually went and audited an area where their pork was being raised, and they said, this doesn't fit our ethics, this doesn't fit our standards. They thought that the pork or the pigs were being treated really poorly. And so they actually had a carnitas shortage at Chipotle because they were like, we don't like the way that they're being raised, we're just going to take our company away from you and not serve carnitas at all until we find someone that raises the pork the way that they want them to. I walked into one of my local Chipotles and I like carnitas tacos, and this made me sad because I had it and then it went away. That's it. Okay. Another thing that makes Chipotle one of the best fast food restaurants is they locally or recently switched to non-GMO food products that they feed their meat and things like that. And so to describe what GMO is for anyone that doesn't know, in Chipotle, their website gives you a lot of information about what's in their products, and so this definition is from them, and it says a GMO is created by inserting genes from one species, typically bacteria or a virus, into the DNA of another. This can result in a plant with characteristics that wouldn't occur naturally, such as producing pesticides or the ability to withstand high doses of chemical herbicides. So it's all really artificial and modified things that go into stuff that isn't occurring naturally, which isn't good to put in your body, obviously. So this is a display of how conventional pork in fast food and even in grocery stores is raised in kind of an industrial factory type way, where they're crammed and not treated well at all. Chipotle prides themselves on having farm raised pork, and so they found someone that they could use to provide that to them. I have a short clip. There's a documentary about Chipotle, and it's called Inside Chipotle, and it was 22 minutes, so it was hard to break it down, but I broke it down to 1 minute and 10 seconds, so.
exception to the way most of the pigs are raised. I would say 99% of them. And I learned about this maybe 12 years ago or so. When I saw that, it was really shocking to me. I mean, it's a model that I think is based on a lot of exploitation. Pigs are crammed into confinement factories, if you will.
You were upset by it.
It was very upsetting. I think most people who see that would be upset.
It's so upsetting that Chipotle decided it would no longer use pigs or cows raised on industrial farms. Today, the pork is raised on open fields at the Nyman Ranch Pork Company, a farmers cooperative, the family-owned Polyface Farms, and other suppliers. Chipotle buys more naturally raised meat than any other restaurant company in the world. The cilantro is organically grown, and the chain uses lettuce, peppers, and oregano from local farms around the country. This food with integrity comes from Els, where he has taken a hands-on approach in every part of the business, from design of the tables and chairs to food preparation.
Okay, so the gentleman that was speaking in the beginning was Steve Els, that's the founder and CEO of Chipotle, and he seems like a pretty good guy to be running a company, because he, you know, like she was saying, you're upset by it, and he's like, yeah, I was upset by that, and a lot of people are in it kind of just to make money, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna get this out there, and in the documentary, they were talking about how some places are just like, we'll promote our food for them to come in, buy it, we don't really care further than that, but he's like, no, I really think about the fine details, and that was another aspect of kind of showing how Chipotle has gone through where it is today. Okay. Talking a little bit about now, I went into my local Chipotle and it said Carnitas is back, rejoice. And so they're slowly getting it back into the stores or the restaurants now that they found a new place that you saw in the documentary to get their food from. So Chipotle also said in their website, Chipotle is on a never-ending journey to source the highest quality ingredients we can. Over the years, we have learned more about GMOs and decided that using them in our food doesn't align with that vision. Chipotle was the first national restaurant to disclose the GMO ingredients in their food, honestly, and now they're the first to cook only with non-GMO ingredients. So that's a movement that they've done, which is really awesome. Another point about where Chipotle is now, their business is really doing well. According to Forbes.com, they're the number 24 most innovative company from May 2015, these numbers are. They have about 20.5 billion market cap as of May of 2015 and a little over 53,000 employees, so it's really taken off in less than 25 years. Their sales are estimated at $4.11 billion, which is a lot, and they're just moving up from here. So this is one of their things that you'll see if you go into their restaurants or if you look on their website. It talks about their food with integrity. Food with integrity is our commitment to finding the very best ingredients raised with respect for animals, the environment, and farmers. That's their baseline motto. And as far as their plan, it looks like they've done a lot in their company so far, but they are definitely looking to do more in the future. So one of the messages that they say, for their vision moving forward, they said over 20 years later, our devotion to finding the best ingredients we can with the respect for animals, farmers, and the environment is shown through our food with integrity commitment. And as we grow, our dedication to creating an exceptional experience for our customers is the natural result of cultivating a culture of genuine, rewarding opportunities. And they were talking about for their customers, for the people that work there, and for the food that they serve as well. One more thing about Chipotle's future, they were talking about getting rid of GMOs, and they're working on that and doing that now, but they're also talking about preservatives. Almost everything we eat or anything that you buy at the grocery store has preservatives in it because it usually comes from far away. They have a really kind of out there goal that's on their website as well that talks about ridding of preservatives. And they said preservatives keep food fresh longer, usually by inhibiting the growth of mold, yeast, and some bacteria. but they're working with specifically their tortilla suppliers right now to reduce and eventually eliminate artificial preservatives from their tortillas. And that's just a start. So that'd be really crazy if a fast food place can, rid of their preservatives. That's almost unheard of because it is fast food, but that's what sets them aside. This is a quote from Steve Elves, the CEO and founder. Delicious, affordable food can be produced without exploiting the farmers, the animals, or the environment. Chipotle has proven this to be true. Chipotle is only one small part of the solution. Our goal now should be to have all food produced as sustainably as possible. And in conclusion, for Chipotle, I just wanted to highlight or outline for you why it's one of the best fast food restaurants, and I hope that I've done that for you today. And maybe if any of you are unfamiliar with Chipotle, you'll go and visit because I eat it like once a week. It's a really good place to eat, and it's a good company, and their food is healthy, so I hope you'll check it out.
Comes in all
I
like
know, like,
this.
look at me.
That's great.
All right, Miriam, what did you think?
I thought there was central idea and it was much clear, but I didn't really notice an attention points. You had good eye contact and you seemed really confident. Your visuals were good and helped explain your points, but a few were kind of unnecessary. I like that you described words that may be unclear to us. And you said just a little too much, but overall it was really good.
All right. I like the opening, the attention device. I did think that you had a reasonable preview, but organizationally, I didn't think that it held together the way you suggested it was going to at the beginning. And so I thought you went over the same point 2 or 3 times, and it felt like you needed a little bit more structure in the middle because you kind of wandered around on a couple of subjects. I liked, for instance, one of the comments that I made was that the example of the carnitas was a good illustration, said, but you need more background information on it. And then you started talking about GMOs, and then you came back and you provided us more information about the carnitas situation. That's just one of those things where why that wasn't together, it doesn't make much sense. And so there are a couple of places like that where the information, I think, is a little problematic. You also need to cite some of the information more, although it sounds like a majority of it comes from the Chipotle website. I thought you did a nice job developing interest for the audience. The visuals were probably a few more than you need, but there were some good ones that illustrated the points you used as transitions or that generated some interest in the speech. I appreciated that. The video clip was a little bit long, but it had some good information in it. And usually you do a solid job of presenting, but there are a couple of spots where I know you're trying to get all of the accurate information there. And once you start reading, though, it's like that's what you're going to do. You're going to read, and you're not going to talk to us anymore until you're done reading that section, and that's a little problematic. And in case you didn't know, it was 11 minutes and 34 seconds, so it's almost 50% overtime.